All right, what's going on, traders? What up, tycoons? Super excited for today's video, giving you another update on Casper. And we are going to go over the next price targets and how Casper could hit 10 cents, but we have to go over everything that it needs to do in order to reach that state, right? We'll go over all the buy signals that we had, how we got the bullish price targets, how it hit our bullish price targets on this recent explosion. And then we're going to go over why maybe you need to wait right now because we had a nice sell signal, and there's some really good opportunities if you are patient and you learn what to look for. Okay, so I'm going to teach you everything that I look for, and break everything down for you guys really simply. So make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. All right, so we're going to get into it. And in my previous videos, we were watching this pattern right here. It's a symmetrical triangle or a pennant, right? We had a very nice breakout to the upside, created a bull flag here, and shot out to the upside, came and hit the first bullish price target. Okay, um now what we had here, these green boxes, okay, these were red. All right, just like this one is red right here. These were overhead supply zones. All right, meaning these are areas where there was previously a supply imbalance of sell orders, and that drives the price down, right? We can see over here there was a supply imbalance, and the price was getting pushed down through this level, right? Once we got our breakout and then our bull flag right here, we turned this supply zone into a demand zone where now there was a demand imbalance of buy orders here, and it pushed the price much higher. So in my last video, in my last update, I actually made a post on my community page. After we came up here, I covered the video, and said, we may pull back, right? What we're going to be looking for is a bounce here in our demand zone. All right. Now we can see we pulled up, we came down, and we bounced beautifully off demand as soon as we touched it. And we came up here, all right, but we did just get a sell signal. Okay, so I'm going to break that down for you guys. If you look right here on our MACD, we were paying attention for a buy signal, right? And it's this blue line you want to pay attention to, and we got a nice curl over, right? So it curled over on the MACD right here, and that's really the start of this big mega rally, right? If we look now, we had the blue line cross below our orange line right here. Okay, so that's technically a MACD sell signal. All right. And if we see, we after that day that we got that MACD sell signal right here, okay, we also broke this trend line right here. So if we zoom in just a little bit like this is a pattern known as an ascending triangle. Okay, so you have your major resistance right here, you have your triangle right here. We're going to zigzag through here, ultimately until we break and we got a nice push down. Okay, so we may bounce down, come back up, and then look to retest this demand zone in this area right here. So that's really what I'm watching, right? The MACD, we just had the sell signal, so I'm looking for signals to buy currently, and we'll go over how I'm getting these price targets of 10 cents, right? So initially, I was able to come up with this bullish price target right here, all right, at 0.04833. That's currently going to be our breakout level that we need to break out past above, for us to hit our next bullish price targets. But if we look, I'd use the strategy of the fibs, right? So I took our swing high to our swing low of this recent pullback that we had, and it's going to give you valid price targets to the upside and to the downside, right? If you don't believe me, look right here at the 2.618 extension. That's exactly where we found resistance. So some beautiful TA, right? And Casper has been trading along the TAs very well, the technical analysis, and respecting the fibs very well. Because believe it or not, most trading is done by algorithms, around like 70%, especially institutions, right? When they put money into these things, they're using algos to give themselves buy and sell signals. So it's good to, start thinking like an algo and try to recognize some of the patterns. Okay. All right. So, we still have our 3.618 extension to hit and the 4.236. Those are going to be right here at 0.06 and 0.05, 0.057 and 0.062. But what I did was I took the same strategy, right? And I took this swing high to this swing low. And once we get above here and above these bullish price targets, we have bullish price targets up here again at the 261.8 of 0.078. Okay. And then we have the 4236 at 0.10. So these are the next bullish price targets for the next big bull run. But right now, we still have to hit 0.057 and 0.062, but we have to take out this overhead supply zone. Okay, so we know that we have the sell signal right here. If we zoom down a little bit into the 4-hour chart, we can see where I got this overhead supply zone. And that's going to be right here at these candles, right? You see, from here on the 4-hour chart, this is where our supply imbalance was, and this is where the price was getting pushed down. And we can see our bullish price target, our initial bullish price target is still a very valid resistance level. And, we broke that ascending triangle that we had right here. Okay. And we're zigzagging through here on the daily chart. We got our MACD sell signal. So I would wait for it to come down and try to test this demand zone, right? And see if buyers are really going to step in. Okay. I mentioned in my last video, this is really no man's land. Okay. This area in between here, this is no man's land. I'm not looking to enter trades in no man's land. Because it doesn't give you an edge, right? What gives you an edge is going to be supply and demand zones. It's going to be using the MACD. It's going to be using the RSI. And right now we don't have any bullish divergence on the chart. We don't have any MACD buy signals. And we're not trading in an area in a demand zone or a supply zone. So those are the places that you want to enter and exit trades, because that really increases the odds in your favor, and especially with risk management, right? If you enter in here, okay, and we come down, you can set a stop loss somewhere in this demand zone or right at the break of this demand zone, and your risk to reward is much better, right? If we look here, you can risk about, let's see here, 36% to the upside for a 8% move to the downside, right? So you can have an 8% stop loss on for a 36% move to the upside, back into the supply zone. And it's much better than, entering in here or all the way up here. Those are just some of the strategies that I use. But Casper has been following the TA really well, and it's really, really nice. If we actually zoom down a little bit lower to the 30-minute chart, okay, we do have a little bit of bullish divergence, right? So I'll go ahead and cover that real quick for you guys so you know what it is in case you're new to the channel. And let's just get straight into it, right? So the first thing that I see is we do have a little bit of a descending wedge here forming, okay? So look at that, right? And then I don't even know if I could call it a descending wedge, but we'll go ahead and call it a descending wedge right here. Okay. And then we have the bullish divergence from here up through here, right? So notice how we're making lower lows right here. So it's like low, we have a low here, and then we have lows here. We have low here, higher low here. So the relative strength is increasing as the price of this token is going down. We're kind of just zigzagging in between here. We could get a breakout to the upside and put us back near our original first bullish price target. But really, that's kind of like our breakout level now. Now that we've hit the first bullish price target, we really need to flip that from resistance to support, and make that a true breakout level. But we could just keep zigzagging in between here until we come down into this demand zone. And hopefully, we get some demand and buyers to step in, drive the price back up. But, this thing has ran up massively. Okay. It's been a very, very nice rally. And as I said, we got our MACD sell signal. Okay. So if we look back at the MACD again, right here on the daily chart, our blue line crossed below. And it's really high up. I mean, look how high up the MACD was. That's the highest it's been. We finally got a sell signal. That's when I was telling people, okay, once you get that, that's when I would exit the trade, if you haven't already. And that was right up here when it was at 0.047. So yeah, that's basically it. I'm just watching and seeing how it develops. Most likely this MACD is going to continue coming down a little bit. Our relative strength index is looking pretty good though. It's no longer really overbought, which that's going to give it more room to run. Once you do see it start to rally again, it's really hard for the cryptocurrency to rally, and continue going higher when the RSI is like at 83, 84. Above 70 on the RSI is overbought. So that's what we needed. We needed a pullback here. We do have to be cautious that we may get a inverse cup and handle. Okay, so if we come down here like this and come into our demand zone and we get a bounce, but the bounce isn't strong enough and we come back down into the level, into our demand zone, right? So we come up, all right, get a nice little bounce off demand again for a nice double bottom bounce, but there's no follow through, right? If we come down again, as I just showed you, and break that line, then most likely, right, we're going to take this move here, okay? And most likely that's going to take us down to this demand zone down here, okay? So that's pretty much it. And if that happens, you can expect the MACD to come a lot lower and closer down here to zero. And that gives it much more opportunity for it to cross back up and give us another buy signal, right? But it's all about signals and patience, and just using what you can to give yourself an edge in the market, because that's what you really need. Okay, trading is like going to battle, it's like going to war. Investing is. So the more weapons you can bring, the better prepared you are for battle, the better, chances you have of having the positive results that you're looking for. Okay. So that's it for today's video. Make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'm out.